Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need, we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Oh, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time. to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is game time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Guerin Catholic for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Guerin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Mascari, and any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar.
Guerin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
How much time they got left in the
35 seconds.
Yeah, they're way late. This has either been a really slow JV game or they got going late.
It might just be a slow game. I mean, it's 45-40, so it might just be a slow-moving game.
Yeah.
I think the stream we have going is great.
Whatever works.
Hello? They were off.
Yeah, they're off. Okay.
Okay, well they're definitely off now. I don't know how. But I do. Well, there's probably a delay. Okay.
Overtime. Oh my god.
Okay.
What, can he hear us talking right now? What's going on?
I don't. There's no way our mic should still be open. I have the levels all the way down and they're turned off.
Like, can he hear this?
Is he on their broadcast?
Okay. Alright, well I've got the JV picture up now, and
It's he.
okay, well I will unplug the mics until we go on then.
Apparently the mics are hot right now. He's called me because I was doing a game last
No.
before Christmas, and he's like, "You started the countdown." And I was like, "I didn't even start the countdown. Like, I already see it." So I don't know if he's on a different street. Like, I don't know how that's
Yeah.
And he called me freaking out last time too, saying, "Why'd you start the stream early?"
Okay.
Close to saying.
Thank you.
rotation. You a second slow. Michael, come on, you ain't giving me nothing. Hands up. Oh! Bro, move the ball. Move it. Markel! Look clear! Look clear! Move it!
Full timeout.
He got an offensive foul by number 11, Murgo D. That's his sixth.
Corey, 10 seconds.
McCurtis will be backing in for the Continentals.
Who you got, Corey? Corey, you're not letting him touch the ball. Get in front of him. Right here. Hurry up. Corey! Corey! Trap! Trap! Corey, come here. Come here.
On the number 24, Dickie Robinson, that's his third, team 9. Shooting 1 and 1 will be number 2, Martin, for the Continentals.
Who you got on there? Number who? You said don't let him catch the ball. What you do? Right there.
TJ Robinson will be the line shooting 2. Fouls number 2, Martin, that's his fourth.
Marcus, get in there.
Corey, get the ball, Corey. Corey, get the ball, Corey.
Lost ball will be next basketball. Fouls on number 2. That's his 5th foul from Martin. It'll be TJ Robinson at the line, shooting 2. Damon Hooks back in for the Continentals. Fouls on Hooks, his first. Robinson, TJ will be at the line, shooting 2 for the night.
It's a new year, which means new beginnings for some. And tonight in Whitestown, two teams are certainly looking to start 2022 off on a good note. Coach Aaron Hogg and his Washington Continentals of Indianapolis square off with Sean Busick and the Traders Point Knights. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. By Bertner Electric, your licensed and experienced electrician serving Central Indiana. IU Sports Management, a lifetime of sports with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 services, 1 logistical solution, and Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Well, alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Indiana SRN. Certainly a good night for some high school basketball here in the Class Single A ranks. Of course, you have 3A versus 1A here tonight, though, Ben. Needless to say, a good matchup here as Washington looking to extend probably their best start since the mid-90s here tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned that to me. I just thought that was amazing considering they left after that, too, in 94. Weren't a school for a while, but maybe now they're back to their heyday. I mean, this is a historically very talented program, and looking like Aaron Hogg's getting them back to that mark. I mean, 6-2 start, 5-0 in the Greater Indiana Conference. You got to like where they're at right now.
Indeed you do. So certainly Washington Continentals, they're looking to keep things going, although they started off They finished off 2022 with a loss to Lafayette Jeff after winning a handful of their games. In fact, 6-1 to start the season before they lost to Lafayette Jeff. But also, that's another big glaring thing. They haven't played in 2 weeks. They are starting off here after playing back on December 18th.
And, you know, for some people, they think that might hurt teams. For other teams, it just depends. They could get better while they're practicing, going at each other. Really, you just have to feel that out. I mean, I just watched Indiana and Penn State play each other over the weekend, and I think Penn State hadn't played in almost 3 weeks, and they looked like a better team coming off of that break. So maybe Washington got some guys some well rest over that holiday, and they were able to go at it in practice, and maybe they'll come out better.
Meanwhile, the Traders Point Christian Knights, they're certainly looking to have a better start to the 2022 year than they did finishing off 2021. 4-5 last year, going up to December 30th. They went 2-2 in their last 4 games, including their holiday tournament play as well against West Washington, as well as Fort Wayne North and Clay City. But now they get back into the swing of things here into regular season play, and Sean Busick in his first year as the head coach here of the Knights, needless to say, has a little bit of work to do here based off of what we saw in the first half of the season.
Yeah, he does, and not to knock any of these players or anything, a lot of them are still young, looking to kind of figure out their role with this team, and Coach Busick is probably going to do a great job kind of incorporating these guys, figuring out what they need to do and what they can do well. We've seen flashes where this team can play really well. I know I've seen them against Horizon Christian, and it was a 3-point game at halftime, and then some things just got away from them in the second half. So they're capable of hanging with teams. It's just they have to play at their best to be able to hang with a lot of these bigger schools, and that's what they're going to have to do tonight.
Traders Point is still in the building process, to say the least, of its basketball program as they first started playing organized basketball back in 2008, but they played in their first IHSAA sectional back in 2018. So needless to say, they're still getting in the groove, but they have certainly some talent behind them in Tobias Grant, who is also a very fantastic football player for Traders Point as well. On the other side, though, you have Eric Hickenbottom as well as Armand Burns of Washington, who, needless to say, it's probably going to be a really good battle of some talent here tonight.
Yeah, I think it will. And you look at Burns averaging just over 18 points a game, and then Hickenbottom also with 10.8. They've got 2 guys that can mix it up as well. And then you throw in Balance, who's just under 10 points a game. They've really got a couple guys that they can rely on, so they're not really going to be looking to force the ball in one direction. They really play fast and loose, and if that's something that Traders Point doesn't really focus and hone in on, this game can get out of hand quickly.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the expressed written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. We'll take our first time out. When we come back, we'll continue to break down what we'll see here later this evening and some keys to the game from Ben Wood. Don't go anywhere. You're watching IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Indianapolis, Washington getting set to face the Knights of Traders Point Christian here on IndianaSRN. Welcome inside Traders Point Christian High School, a seating capacity of officially 300 seats. Of course, you can fit a little bit more based on where you stand in the corners here in this tiny, tiny gym here at Traders Point Christian. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling, and Ben, it's certainly a tiny gym, but certainly does not lack an atmosphere.
Oh, no, you got Night Nation out here in full force, hopefully tonight. They always bring out a good crowd. Good energy, too. I always love going there because we're right up on the stage, so you're center court right there in the action.
And it's certainly a good place to watch some high school basketball. But, of course, we mentioned earlier before we took our break is the fact that we kind of delved into a little bit into the particular players we're going to be seeing tonight. Of course, one in particular is going to be Amon Burns here for Washington. The Washington Continentals averaging 17 points a contest. He has a season high of 31, which he had back against Central Christian. But needless to say, he's going to have you're probably going to be seeing a lot more of him tonight. A heavy dose, to say the least, expected here for Traders Point.
And the great thing about his scoring, too, is he kind of mixes it up a little bit as well. He can get to the rim like we've seen, but also he's their leading three-point shooter. I know he's taken by far the most attempts, and you see at 41%, you're satisfied with that if he's knocking it down at that clip.
And then in Traders Point on the other side, you have Tobias Grant. Now, we talked about how he is an awesome football player here for Traders Point. In fact, he has a standing offer right now from Anderson University to play football for them next year, as he is a senior. But, of course, he is a dynamo basketball player as well. But if you're Traders Point, you're definitely going to want to try and diversify a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Grant brings good opportunities at the rim. He can kind of split through guys. You know, as a good football player, he sees those holes, those gaps, so he's able to find his way to the rim. But last game, I saw them play against Horizon Christian, and the player that kind of stood out to me was Cooper Simmons-Little. He's a quarterback for the football team, but he wasn't really scoring, but he was making a lot of little plays that was opening up opportunities for his teammates, so I think that's going to be huge tonight for him to kind of get involved, whether it's scoring or just moving the ball well. He seems to find the holes in that defense and is able to get guys open shots.
And, of course, for Traders Point, if you're in this game, obviously you have the added benefit that you don't have any conference games that you're playing this season. They are an independent school, so they don't have any conference opponents to worry about. Meanwhile, if you're the Washington Continentals, you do have that added pressure playing in the Greater Indianapolis Conference, but needless to say, haven't felt a whole lot of pressure, 5-0 in that regard to start the season.
No, they're off to a great start. Got halfway through the conference schedule already, and I was just looking down their schedule. They've got maybe a handful of games that are going to be close, but I think there's a lot that they should be able to win, and this is going to be their best season we mentioned since 1994. It's probably going to be their best season in the last 10 years.
And so getting set to go here inside Traders Point High School. We will go ahead and take a timeout with you. When we come back, we will have the starting lineups. Don't go anywhere. You're watching IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with India as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Meeting the starting lineups here tonight for the Traders Point Christian Knights as well as the Indianapolis-Washington Continentals, getting set to go for some good high school basketball action here this evening. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. You see here Cooper Simmons-Little along with Amari Justice getting the start tonight as well for Traders Point. And then adding it up, you have Drew Bussick, the coach's son, here for Traders Point. You also see... looks like you're going to be seeing Devin Geerton get the start tonight as well. And then finishing it off will be Jaden Corey. So needless to say, you see Tobias Grant not on the floor here this evening to start this contest here. Maybe a little bit of a different strategy here for Coach Bussick to get things moving here for Traders Point. But needless to say, without him on the starting lineups here, you're putting a little bit more of a premium on your boys here. But needless to say, this should be a good ball game here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if some good energy is brought out here by the Continentals and the Knights. We mentioned that kind of long layoff here for Washington. If they'll come out slow, maybe take some time to get into rhythm. If you're the Knights here, you ride this home court advantage you've got going and see what you can do.
And so here we go, getting set to go. You have James Holder squaring off here with Jaden Corey for the opening tip, and it is controlled by Washington, and we're underway here inside of Traders Point Christian School. And right out of the gate, the Washington Continentals wasting no time as you see Jaquan Bridges unload a three ball, and a loose ball is fought for, and it's going to be corralled by the Continentals, who will reset the offense.
Gurdon's just got to grab that with two hands. He was trying to dribble it all the way down the court. Just secure that rebound.
This is a Washington team averaging 10 turnovers a ball game. One of the more efficient teams when it comes to taking care of the ball in the state, believe it or not. On the other side, here comes Burns along the baseline, and no whistle there. And here come the Knights quick in transition, and that is a block right straight up there by Travis Balance. And now we have a foul going for the loose ball, and it's going to be against Washington. And so that'll be against Travis Balance, his first.
It looked like that last possession defensively, the Knights came out in a zone against the Continentals.
And Traders Point already with two quick turnovers here in this ball game. Still zeros on your scoreboard as we just tick away through the first minute. And now Washington going to slow the pace down here just a little bit as they try to get things all set up, facing a zone defense now from Traders Point.
It's good baseline action, good coverage there by the Knights.
Balance along the baseline. Can't get that shot to fall, but right there for the offensive board is James Holder.
You like that he didn't bring that down. He kept it right at his chin and went right back up with it.
So some stingy defense here from Balance in transition as You see Drew Busick handling the ball right now. He gives it to Cooper Simmons-Little. He tries to split the defenders, and that's blocked out of bounds by Holder. And they're going to say that was off of Traders Point last, so it's Continental basketball.
He liked the aggressive take there from Simmons-Little. Didn't settle for a jump shot there. Tried to get all the way to the rim.
That still goes down as another turnover here for Traders Point. Indianapolis, Washington looking for their 7th win on the season, and that's certainly not going to help right there as it's a traveling violation. You see Hickenbottom maybe taking one too many steps there on this side. Let's take a look at this play again here from Balance.
No box out on the backside. That's an easy putback there for Holder.
So Traders Point still has yet to get on the board here.
Hear Coach Hogg telling his defense to talk out there, playing man-to-man. You got to know where your teammates at to have that help, and it's working out.
So 3 straight turnovers here for Traders Point, and there's going to be a timeout called here by GW. It's a 30-second timeout. So we can talk about Morales Group, which we can match you with the right career or hire the right candidate for you and your company. We also do much more than that. Let us help you today. Contact the Morales Group at 317-472-7600. Again, that's 317-472-7600. Well, alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling here, and so Ben, obviously, kind of an unusual timeout taken here by Washington, even though they're up 2-0 early. But needless to say, if you're Traders Point, you got to figure something out because 3 straight turnovers just isn't going to do it.
Yeah, the turnovers are definitely not going to get it done, and that was a surprising timeout there by Coach Hogg. But maybe we said this team's rusty; they haven't played in a while. That maybe this was kind of just a wake-up call for them, bringing them in, tell them certain things to focus on here early on the game.
So taking it out here will be Amon Burns, and he gives it to Travis Balance.
That baseline action, trying to get Burns along that baseline, looking for an overload.
Another absent player noticeable here for Washington is Eric Hickenbottom. As you see Burns take a 3 from the corner, and that doesn't go. It goes out of play and back to Traders Point.
Yeah, so we've got some key players on both sides out here. Maybe that's kind of affecting the start as well.
So another foul on Washington will give the ball back here to Traders Point. Second foul of the half here on the Continentals. So Traders Point has to inbound the basketball, facing some pressure here from Washington. Up top now is Simmons-Little. He has Busick. And there's going to be an offensive foul. Looks like they're going to say Busick maybe got a little bit too... got a big shove right there. Actually, no, they're going to get Simmons-Little with a little bit of a hand check. So that'll be his first foul and the team's first. And another turnover back to Washington.
Yeah, I believe they were saying that was a moving screen. Simmons-Little just didn't set his feet there. Was just kind of lackadaisical with it because there wasn't much contact.
Traders Point settling back into their zone defense.
And they've got the size advantage, so they should look to go in the middle and then try to get that ball down low.
Travis Balance picks up his dribble, looks inside, and just a little short there is Cortez Washington. And the rebound briefly falls into the hands of Corey, but there's a big steal by Jaquan Bridges, who saves the possession for Washington, and Burns is going to draw the foul going to the rack. And so Drew Busick going to pick up his first, team's second.
We've seen a couple times here early on, Traders Point gets a quick rebound, and they're looking to get rid of it quick, and Washington has been aggressive and stayed right there and able to get a couple steals.
So both teams are certainly struggling in the scoring department here. It's only a 2-0 ball game through the first 3 minutes and some change. And Amon Burns is certainly doing everything he can to help break that trend.
Burns, I believe, is the best free throw shooter between both teams, shooting 83% on the year.
And he rattles home for 100% of those 2 shots right there, making it a 4-0 ball game. And there's another steal on the inbound, and still they can't get a field goal to fall here, does Bridges, and another foul going up for it.
Again, we see just another quick pass there. Traders Point isn't even looking before they get rid of the ball here. That's really lazy when you got a defender right there.
But still, Traders Point bailed out by a foul called on Jaquan Bridges, so they're able to keep the basketball. So here you see Amari Justice into the ball game. Certainly one of the other more productive players on the court right now as you finally see Tobias Grant check into the ball game here for Traders Point. And Tobias Grant going to try and Euro step inside. Instead, they're going to say he was fouled before taking the shot. It's going to be on the floor. Another one on Jaquan Bridges. So that's 2 quick fouls on Bridges, so he may have to take a seat here for the time being.
That looks exactly like what's happening. And now we see Hickenbottom come into the game. So 2 guys we figured would be in the starting lineup here coming in about 4 minutes into the game.
So with Tobias Grant in the ball game now for Traders Point, you might see a little bit more productivity from this Knights squad, and that certainly helps right there as Drew Busick hits a big three-pointer to cut the lead to 1.
Exactly like I was saying, Simmons Little ducks down in there, draws the defense inside, gets a quick kick out to the corner. That was a pure shot there by Busick.
Very nicely done there by Busick to get the open look. And now you certainly have had a little bit of a scrum fighting for the rebound on the other side. And the quick inbound goes right to James Holder.
That's just too easy. Can't have that entry pass right there at the rim. Also, maybe could have been a foul, too.
4 points now for James Holder to give Washington the 3-point advantage here early. Tobias Grant nearly loses the handle there with Hickenbottom getting one-on-one with him.
I'd like to see more movement out of this Knights offense. It seems like they're just kind of relying on getting the ball to one guy.
Kicking it back outside, Busick this time is double-teamed. Looking inside now to Geerton. And Busick trying to get rid of it here. Extended possession, throws the ball right into Hickenbottom's hands, and he hits Holder in stride, and he's fouled before he gets the shot off. And so it'll be another foul here, and now that the officials and some of the players are trying to hold each other back here as you see Holder talking. Oh, and we have a technical foul called on James Holder.
Looks like they might be going with a double technical. We'll see here.
Saw 2 technical fouls possibly here, and it looks like that's the case as you see Devin Geerton getting one as well. And that also counts as a common foul, so that gives him 1 foul as well as a technical. So Holder and Geerton each given technical fouls, and so those are offsetting fouls, which means there should be no foul shots.
Yeah, and I think this was kind of just a precautionary measure here from the referees. We saw a little bit of jawing there, no really pushing or anything. So I think this was just kind of just to set the warning, set the table, say, hey, guys, we're not going to deal with any of this because a couple plays before that, I think we saw Justice and Balance kind of get into it after a play too. So I think the refs picked up on that and they said, hey, we're putting an end to this.
So the officials keeping control of this game here certainly don't want things to get out of hand, and it looks like we are going to have foul shots. So they're going to put Holder at the line for technical foul shots, which means Devin Geerton should also be getting some foul shots. We'll see what they decide to do here. The officials are still conversing to try and sort out the situation.
Yeah, because he also could just be shooting his two shots from the shooting foul. I don't know, because.
And the officials are giving Coach Busick an explanation. So, and indeed that's the case here. So yeah, it's an offsetting technical foul. So there's no foul shots for the technical shots, but Holder was fouled, so he does get personal foul shots here. And he knocks down the first one.
And if I'm Holder, I just keep being aggressive because he's getting all of his points around the rim. It's shown really that no one on this Traders Point defense can kind of really compete with him. So I would just keep attacking the basket and continue to draw these fouls.
Xavier Thomas checks into the ball game for Traders Point. And so Holder goes in as well. So far, Washington, they are shooting 100%, 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. And Holder will remain in the ball game here in spite of getting a technical foul. Thomas gives it off to Corey, and he tries to work it inside, and he's going to be fouled there by Hickenbottom.
Hickenbottom aggressive trying to get that steal. Kind of went right at the ball handler.
So Hickenbottom picking up his first. And just like that, if Washington commits one more foul, they put Traders Point in the 1-and-1 bonus for the remainder of the half. And it looks like that might be it right here. And so they're going to get Burns. And just like that now, Traders Point, they have an opportunity to at least make this thing a little interesting with some free throw shooting, since both teams are certainly struggling from doing it in from the field right now.
Got to take points any way you can get it, Kurt.
And looks like we have a lane violation. So we have another one. Simmons Little goes 1 for 2 from the charity stripe.
Good job there by Holder to stay with it even though he fell.
Busick playing some stingy defense but dumped right down low, and a foul and the and one it looks like, as you see Cortez Washington knock down the shot and has an opportunity for the old-fashioned three-point play. You also saw Burns take a little bit of a dive down there to the floor, but he's up and okay.
That was a great job there by Balance to keep the defense on their heels. Attacks baseline, gets right under the basket, and gave Cortez Washington a late Christmas gift.
But Washington is unable to unwrap the Christmas gift right there. Going back the other way, here comes Traders Point. Xavier Thomas still with 2.5 minutes left in this first quarter. Trying to dump it down underneath to Corey. It doesn't go, and the loose ball corralled by Washington.
Turnover number 7 for the Knights. Going to have to clean that up here for the rest of the game.
Hickenbottom right into the lane. Can't get the finger roll to go first, but he gets the putback. And those are his first 2 points of the ball game. He averages 12 a game.
And here's the difference we saw from the first couple minutes. Washington is no longer settling for jump shots. They're getting to the rim and following their shots.
And a nifty shot there by Tobias Grant to get on the board.
And those are the kind of plays you expect to see from Grant, just using his athleticism to will away to get some points for his team.
Full timeout on the court. We'll take one with them here on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Washington holding a 12-6 lead here late in the first quarter as we take a look here at the and one play on the previous possession from Washington.
You see everyone just focused on the ball handler. Good cut there by Washington to find space at the front of the rim. Like we said, that's a gift. That doesn't get much easier than that for the chance at 3 points.
But this has certainly been a clunky first quarter, to say the least. Lots of stoppages, and a lot of those because of the fact that both teams have committed 12 fouls combined here in this first quarter alone.
Yeah, the turnovers, the fouls, the long layoffs in between games really just doesn't add up for an exciting first half. But we still got 3 more quarters left, so it's only up from here.
Traders Point last played Clay City back on December 30th. Meanwhile, Washington has had to wait much longer than that. December 18th was their last game before this one. That was a loss to Lafayette Jeff. As you see a foul being called here on Tobias Grant, his first.
No need for that foul 35 feet away from the basket. Just stay square, stay in front of your guy. This is how we're seeing these fouls adding up because both teams have been a little bit careless here in the first half.
And Washington gets their offensive possession off to a stumble right there from Balance. But Burns kicks it underneath to Holder, who fires a baseline jumper, and that is just a little short. Here comes Tobias Grant right down the middle of the lane. Can't get the finger roll to finish, and it's pushed out of bounds by Washington.
You see there from Grant, that's kind of what they were missing in those first couple minutes. He didn't really settle. He got past the first line of defense and took it right to the rim.
Simmons Little is double teamed, gets it to Corey, and he's short from the elbow. Here comes Hickenbottom screaming down the lane, and the reverse layup doesn't go, but bailed out on the backcourt here by Balance. And there's Hickenbottom again for three, and he gets the lucky roll. What a shot there from Balance.
Sticking with it, both of his points so far, or both of his buckets so far have come off second chance opportunities.
So Eric Hickenbottom with the 3 points now. He has 5 points overall here so far in this contest. We're finally inside of a minute to play. And Justice loses his footing, and Busick bails him out. Long pass to the other side, Cooper Simmons Little, and he goes inside and draws another foul on Washington. This time it's going to be Damon Lee.
Give the officials a lot of credit here. They're calling it as even as they can both ways, and right there you see Hickenbottom go up strong with the left. Don't finish with that little flick from the right side, but a quick pass there from Balance. He's had some great passes so far here in this first quarter to get his teammates some good looks.
Simmons Little back this time for 2 shots. He went 1 for 2 on a 1-and-1 the previous time, and he knocks down this time. Simmons Little shooting just 55% from the charity stripe so far this season. But he hits both right there. Inside of 20 seconds. Eric Hickenbottom going to try and set up something for the last shot here for the Continentals. Hickenbottom at the elbow. Dumps it off to Balance, who fires, and it doesn't go to end quarter number 1. Washington comes away at the end of the first with a 15-8 lead here on IndianaSRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Second quarter here on IndianaSRN alongside Ben Wood. I'm Kurt Darling, and it was all Indianapolis, Washington in that first quarter, but needless to say, it was clunky from both sides of the ball here, to say the least.
Yeah, I think the first 3 minutes we had a combined 3 or 4 points, so very slow. Looked like things started kind of rolling there. Here as Washington was able to get out to a little bit of a lead here, but the refs, they're calling it very tight, so you got to get there with your feet, stop using those hands, and we'll see where this could lead Traders Point here with the ball here to start off the second quarter.
We also had 2 technical fouls in that first quarter. Meanwhile, Tobias Grant has to find some way to get rid of it and gets it all the way across to Amari Justice, and it looks like he was fouled there on a reach-in from a Washington player. They're going to get Balance, and that is his second.
So that was pretty much right on cue. I'm saying guys can't defend with their hands, and what does he do? A little bit of hand check there. This is where Traders Point needs to get back in the game. If they can capitalize on these fouls with the remaining first half, they're at the bonus.
And we were certainly talking off air a little bit about this, is about how certainly unusual that a team commits enough fouls to put the other team in the 1-and-1 bonus in the first in just one quarter, let alone now getting into the double bonus possibly within the first maybe 10 minutes of this ball game.
I think there was 3 minutes left in the first quarter when they got into the bonus, so this is something you definitely want to ride here into halftime if you can.
So Amari Justice hits both free throws there. Back on the other side, Washington can't come away with anything on that endeavor. Tobias Grant blocked from behind, this time by Burns, who takes it back the other way and almost gets it to go, but then a big offensive rebound by big Latravion Enright gets things to salvage it there for Washington.
That's my guy right there. 2 years ago on this court, these two teams played each other. Enright had a huge game, and what did he use? His size down there, down low. Good putback there from Latravion Enright.
Traders Point trying to respond and keep pace here. This is the largest deficit that Traders Point has had. Of course, that was the first quarter deficit. Busick for three. That's his second of the game.
And you love that right there. Grant drew 3 players. Who does he find? His shooter on the other side.
And we said that how Traders Point's probably going to have to diversify their portfolio a little bit tonight beyond Tobias Grant. Well, he only has 2 points, and so far we've had 3 other players score here for Traders Point as once again Washington comes up empty.
Grant doing a good job on the boards with already 3 here in the first half. If I'm Traders Point, I'd keep running sets to try and get Busick some shots. I mean, they've looked great when he's had an open look.
And Grant still facing some tough defense down low, but again is fouled. This time it is against Amon Burns. And so you already now have 3 players with at least 2 fouls for Washington. So the good news for Coach Aaron Hogg is at least they are diversifying and spreading out the fouls and not getting any particular players in too much foul trouble.
But Kurt, you and I know sooner or later those are going to start adding up for one of those players, and they're going to be in trouble here if this continues. See
Take
that
a look here.
Look, nice baseline drive. Had 4 players really shadowing him. That's about as easy to get for a shooter.
Leaving Busick wide open right there. He is shooting 45% from behind the arc this season. Meanwhile, Grant goes 1 for 2 at the line. And, of course, Traders Point now shooting 2 free throws from here on out in this first half. But that cuts it back to a 3-point deficit here for the Knights.
Look for Enright to try and get active here in the middle of this zone.
Hickenbottom gets hard into Covey, and it looks like they're going to get Jaden Covey. No, it's going to be an offensive foul on Washington. Hickenbottom picks up foul number 2.
Covey was able to get right under there, right before the restricted zone, planted his feet. Great defense.
So now you have Busick bringing it up court. Trying to work it on Hickenbottom. Justice pulls up from the elbow. And here you see Traders Point starting to get a little bit of a rhythm here.
Yeah, there was a 5-out set there. Justice put his defender on an island and just elevated and knocked it down.
Hickenbottom over to Bridges. And now back to Hickenbottom again. You hear the Traders Point faithful trying to bring some defense into the life of Traders Point. You even see Tobias Grant clapping for his team here to have a good defensive set here.
They brought the energy in the second quarter, getting this game back to 1 possession.
In the corner, Latravion Enright can't get that one to go. Loose ball, fought for, and it's poked away by Damon Lee, and he takes advantage of the opening.
Saw a couple times that happened in the first quarter again. Continental staying pesky and getting another turnover.
Busick nearly loses the handle, but luckily Simmons Little is there to bail him out. Justice, fadeaway jumper, just off the mark. Covey fights with Enright, and Washington comes away with it.
A little bit of a heat check there for Justice.
Wide open three from Bridges, rattles in and out, and a foul on the floor going for the rebound, and it's going to be against Washington again. It looks like it may be against Enright, and indeed that is the call.
If I'm Coach Hogg, I'm all right with that foul because at least you're being aggressive, fighting for the boards down there. A lot of their fouls here have come in the first half from just lazy defense, hand checking. So you're all right with that one.
The only difference is, though, this is now resulting in free throws for Traders Point.
Yeah, we've seen in this first half these free throws are really throwing off the rhythm of the Continentals and slowing this game down because we know they like to play at a fast pace. So this has really hurt Washington.
And believe it or not, that is Jaden Corey's first made free throw of the season as you take a look at that shot from Justice. And now you have Corey hitting back-to-back free throws. He was 0 for 8 at the charity stripe before making those two right there.
New year, new Corey.
And it certainly helps Traders Point.
But yeah, we saw that replay there from Justice. That was a high-level shot there on that step back, one-on-one with his defender.
Bridges splits the defenders, pulls up, and knocks it down. A nice move there by Jaquan Bridges.
Yeah, Enright was able to come in, screen the edge of that zone, and Bridges did the rest, cutting through that defense.
Busick trying to keep pace here with Washington as Traders Point has certainly played some good basketball here over the last 4 minutes or so to get back in this one. Grant, and he draws a foul on Bridges, and that will almost look like he was baiting Bridges to come in and try and steal the ball, and that is now foul number 3 on Jaquan Bridges.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, if I'm Washington, I just take a step back at this point. You know, you got to play conservative defense, and Traders Point has shown they really haven't done too much damage from outside the three-point line besides Busick, so just give them the step, and you've got guys behind you to come and help and shut off those lanes.
So Tobias Grant averaging 17 points a contest, but if there's one thing that he has struggled with this season, it is free throw shooting. He's only 67% in that regard, and he goes 2 for 2 so far here this evening, 1 for 2 on that trip. And he now has 4 points to cut it back to a 2-point lead here for Washington. Hickenbottom looks over to Enright, nearly drags that pivot foot, no call. Outside, Burns for a long 3.
I know he was a step behind the line, but when someone's averaging 20 points per game, you got to assume he can hit it from anywhere on the court. So always have to have a hand up when the ball is coming his way.
He's shooting 40% from behind the arc is Burns. Meanwhile, Grant having a tough time getting any scoring done from the field. He tries to drive inside, and it's going to be another foul on Washington.
Fouls on number 3, Balance. That's his third.
And now you have Balance. That is 3 fouls on Travis Balance. And it just seems to me as you take a look at that nice 3 from Burns, but you just see this kind of starting to bubble and bubble up here if you've Ben Wood, if you're Washington, about how many players you have with a lot of fouls here. 2 now with 3 in the first half.
Yeah, the foul line's looking something like you'd see with maybe 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, not 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. So this is going to be an interesting situation here. We'll see how deep this bench is, or if Coach Hogg kind of just rides with these guys and tells them, hey, just settle it down a little bit, you know.
Tobias Grant hits both free throws. He has 4 points in this quarter alone, all from the charity stripe. So a nicely done played here, a quarter from Traders Point, and it is a 30-second timeout called by Traders Point. Well, to become an IHSAA official, you should contact the IHSAA office. Get involved with the men and women behind the stripes, and it's a great way to stay in shape as well and to make some extra cash. Be a part of the games at ihsaa.org/officials. You can also help out by putting more kids on TV. Unlike most broadcast companies, our funding comes primarily from donations and school subscriptions. Help us put more kids on TV by clicking on our donate button on our webpage, IndianaSRN.org. We certainly thank you for your contributions. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. So if you're Washington right now here, Ben Wood, you're certainly having a lot of fouls that you're dealing with, but needless to say, you still have a 3-point lead. What do you tell your team here to close out the half here on a good note?
Tell them play defense with your feet if you have to. Put your hands behind your back. Do something, because we've shown anytime there's contact, that foul is getting called. And Traders Point taking advantage, rightfully so. They have 10 of their 21 points from the foul stripe.
Travis Balance gets it poked away by Busick, and they're going to say it was off of Washington. A nice play by Busick, and you can see Amon Burns can't believe it. Trying to plead his case. He's not going to get a change in the call, and it's a turnover back to Traders Point. Tobias Grant directing some traffic here. Off of a nice screen set there by Jackson Wilhite. Into the corner, Justice for three. Doesn't quite get the roll, and the rebound comes to Washington.
That would have been a huge make to tie things up here and get more momentum for the Knights.
Burns a little quick on the trigger there, and it's short. Inside of 2 minutes now. Grant has Justice, who goes right down the baseline and kisses it off the glass.
He's been very confident with his game here offensively in this second quarter, now giving him 6 points.
Justice with a second field goal. He's only shooting 28% from the field all season long. Meanwhile, Burns trying to shoot a little better than that, and that's certainly not going to do it.
That's rebound number 5 for Grant here in the first half.
Busick up top, trying to break off a double team. 65 seconds left in the half. Some good defense played here by Washington. The loose ball is pushed out of bounds, and it looks like it's going to be Washington basketball. So some really stingy defense right there in the backcourt here from Washington.
We've seen that's what they're trying to do this entire first half, but obviously you can't be that aggressive. They were able to get a steal there, but it's really come back to bite them here in this first half.
Holder, quick pass outside, and a nicely made three there by Travis Balance.
His first points of the night, and that's exactly what you have to do against the zone. Go inside out, get your shooters some open looks.
Extending the defense again here is Washington. Tobias Grant has to do something here. Gets it inside. And another foul on Washington. This time it is against Amon Burns. That is now 3 players with 3 fouls here for Washington.
And if you saw, there was 2 different times there when Grant went to go make a move. Instead of going out with your arms like this, Burns was going forward with his hand. And they'll call that if they're calling it tight. They've been very consistent with it. And you can't put that hand forward. Just keep them at your sides.
So Tobias Grant only has 1 field goal tonight. That was a 2-pointer earlier in the first quarter, but the rest of his points, as he misses the first free throw right there, have all come from the charity stripe. He has 6 points on the night.
And he was really kind of a spark plug when he got brought into this game about 3 minutes in. You could just see the tempo and the pace kind of pick up here for the Knights.
And he now has 7 points, and believe it or not here, Ben, that makes Tobias Grant the leading scorer for Traders Point off of the bench with 7 points, 5 of them from free throws.
Sure, Coach Busick will take that. I mean, maybe that was kind of the message he was sending Grant is, hey, you're not getting the start, so when you get out there, give it your 150%. That's to see what he's been doing so far.
Burns in the corner for a 3, a little too strong. Holder gets the offensive board, kisses it off the glass, and gets a big shot to close out the quarter. Another steal by Burns. He can't get the shot to fall as time expires. No shot, but needless to say, a nicely done. Oh, and again, some more shoving here from Holder. And just getting a little chippy here between these two squads going into halftime.
And Justice was the one that kind of started this all in the first quarter, and that was Holder there kind of going in, separating his guys. But Justice has got to be careful. We already saw 2 players get technicals for kind of just jawing at each other, so got to clean that up. But this has been a solid first half here. If you're Traders Point, they got down early. They were able to use the foul discrepancy to their advantage here, and they're only down 5.
As we take a look at a quick replay here of this last shot from Balance, a huge 3-ball to give Washington some good momentum going into halftime. Well, speaking of halftime, we'll go ahead and send you that way. Don't go anywhere. The second half coming at you in just a little bit. It is a 29-24 lead for Washington over Traders Point here on IndianaSRN.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I've seen mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo.
You see my kid?
Traders Point Christian School is ready to launch a really exciting educational model in our high school that'll affect the school all the way down to our preschool. So we're going to initiate a program called Schools Within a School. Traders Point Christian Schools as a whole offers traditional academic courses to all of our students. Courses like science, English, math, and history. But our Schools Within Schools is going to offer a really unique opportunity to students who want to broaden their perspective, broaden their opportunities in high school. We are going to give students the opportunity to focus their education on things that they're passionate about, things that really motivate them, things that they think they might want to do as a career beyond high school. There's 4 different tracks. One track is the School of Applied Sciences, and that might be for the student who plans to go straight from high school to a career. And then there's the School of Fine Arts. That's that right-brained creative person. And then there's the School of Leadership, the student who wants to be an entrepreneur, a business leader. And then the School of Biomedical Sciences, that student who wants to go on to some field of medical practitioner. So they might want to be a nurse, a doctor, a dentist, or a variety of fields within biomedical sciences. So in my 30 years of Christian education, I've not seen an opportunity like this. It doesn't exist anywhere else in Indianapolis. So give your students this opportunity. Check us out. The time is now.
Well, students at Traders Point Christian Schools are taking a new robotics course thanks to IHSAA Technology Partners. It's actually part of a new multi-year student STEM program that integrates into Traders Point's Schools Within a School model.
Well, preschool through high school, 18 months to 18 years. We've been around for 40 plus years as a preschool, early childhood center and developed over time. This is our 10th, 11th year as a high school. And we have just moved into our only high school building we've ever had 3 years ago. Part of that is launching 4 schools within a school. The School of Biomedicine, the School of Leadership, the School of Fine Arts, and the School of Applied Sciences, which is where this partnership comes into play. The School of Applied Sciences is our way of providing our students with project-based learning, real life examples of things that they can do in the workforce to prepare themselves for the next step.
Yep. Roger, from IHSAA Technology Partners standpoint, talk about how this partnership really came together.
Yeah, it really came together at the Indy 500 last year. We invited Ryan and a couple of his colleagues out for the race, and we got talking about what they were doing with the school. So Ryan was telling us what he was doing, and I was really interested in it because, my entire career I've focused on helping kids and, helping people achieve the dreams that they want, through their career. And I thought this was a good way for us to get involved and help kids, be able to go down a technology path and not have to leave Indianapolis. We're really focused on training our employees and giving them the skills they need to be successful. So we want to do the same thing with these kids. We want to bring them in, give them a path. They can either take a Microsoft Cloud certification path or a Cisco engineering certification path. And, that year that they're with us, they will get certified in that path, and they'll have job-ready skills from that. They could go to work immediately.
Yeah. So Ryan, this is, and we look at from the student perspective, these are really hands-on experiences. I know internships are part of this as well. So whether they want to go on to college, go straight into the workforce, or some combination, these students will have that ability.
I think what's attractive to us is that this is a rare opportunity for them. Oftentimes in schools, they're aligned with universities and higher education, which is great, and we are too. But the opportunity to work with someone in the workforce in our community that's doing innovative things, and then to align our missions as well, to where we can focus on soft skills like character development and communication and creative thinking, problem solving. So it's just a win-win for us, and we jumped at the chance.
The thing that I love about Traders Point is that they make learning fun, and my kids love going to school here.
Children know that they're loved and that they're safe, and this is a good, healthy place for them to be, and they can learn in a safe environment.
Everybody cares about your feelings and how you want to be treated, and God is always with you no matter what is happening in your life.
We got our kids started at age 2, and they've been there all the way through. Our oldest is now 20, so we've seen it through every step of the way and loved it.
Our lower school program here at Traders Point Christian Schools really has 4 distinctives. The Christian worldview, we have STEM as an initiative, and we also have outdoor and environmental education. Perhaps most importantly, at Traders Point, your children are part of a family. Not only are they excited and engaged about their learning, but every day they are loved, they are taught well, they are nurtured in Christ, and I can't think of a better gift that a parent could give a child.
We love that our kids will have that environment here and that it's safe and loving, and the teachers are welcoming them with open arms and a smile on their face.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
(29-24) is the halftime score here at Traders Point Christian School. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. The Indianapolis Washington Continentals lead the Knights of Traders Point. Well, Ben, it has certainly been a game of many storylines here, but the predominant one that I'd say that you and I can agree on is the foul discrepancy here. Washington accruing a massive amount of fouls in the early going. They have 3 players with 3 fouls going into the second half. That's almost unheard of.
3 starters with 3 fouls. And then you also had Hickenbottom, who didn't start, came in a couple minutes late. He picked up 2 as well. So I was going to say the one thing that you can lean on for Washington maybe in the second half, they had 8 guys scoring that first half, so they might have some of those bench players get some more minutes here. They're going to have to step up and contribute offensively.
Meanwhile, on Traders Point on the other side, they've certainly held their own, not from the field, but from the charity stripe, taking advantage of all of those fouls.
Yep, with 10 points from the stripe. They've done a good job. They started off slow, had some early turnovers, but they were able to get things going. Grant came into the game off the bench, and he's been able to contribute from the free throw line. Also done a great job as a guard, rebounding and getting the ball, pushing it out. Also, like the way Busick was knocking down shots, hit 2 threes. I think that's something they'll try and focus on here in the second half, get him some open looks here from his teammates. But that was just a weird first half, I'd have to say. Maybe this is exactly what we could expect coming out of the Christmas break for these two teams. A little rusty here, but we'll see how this goes in the second half. But I'd say with the way that first half went, it might be a little unpredictable.
So Washington starts the second half with the basketball here. 16 minutes left of ball to be played here at Traders Point. And Hickenbottom will start the second half, and he gets going right down the sideline and gets an easy 2. Wasting no time is Eric Hickenbottom.
And that's when Washington had success in the first half, is when they weren't settling and really attacking off the dribble.
Tobias Grant certainly couldn't attack off the dribble last half, and he gets clobbered, and down the other way goes Hickenbottom. And now we have a stoppage, and it looks like Tobias Grant might still be down on the other side of the floor. He took a hard spill, and there you see him walking back into your frame, and he seems to be okay, and we continue play.
That was block number 3 for Holder as well. Almost got another one there.
Look at Tobias Grant finally getting moving, and he hands the ball, shaking his head to Cortez Washington. Logan going down the other way, and again, getting a little chippy down low here. We saw a little bit of chippiness the other way.
You love the aggressiveness from Grant. We saw him get rejected on that shot before that. Kind of wiped his mind clear and just went straight at the basket again.
You certainly got to like the confidence of the 5'10" senior. Again, a standing offer from Anderson University to play football, but he could certainly play basketball for him with moves like that. 2 quick points. Make it 4 quick points for Tobias Grant here this half.
The hesitation through the legs to split the defense and then finishes over a guy at the rim. It's a heck of a start here for Grant.
These two teams have met each other 6 times over the last decade, and the series is tied at even 3 games apiece.
The movement for Washington against the zone is just too slow right now. They're not hitting their spots when they need to be.
Wide open, though, is Balance for a 3, just a little too strong. The offensive board into the hands of Washington, and it's going to be a foul called here on, looks like it's going to be against Traders Point. So Jaden Corey picks up his first. And so we've gone 2 minutes without a foul being called, and the first one goes against Traders Point of the half.
All right, so we saw Corey hit his first free throws of the season, and I believe Washington's going to have a shot here to do that as well.
Cortez Washington, ironically playing for the Indianapolis Washington Continentals.
But he was, I believe, 0 for 1 heading into this game, so 2022 must have been working on those free throw shooting over the break.
And he now has 4 points off of those 2 made free throws. That extends it back out to a 7-point advantage, but in transition, another foul called on Washington, and that is now going to be foul number 3 on Hickenbottom.
See this excellent move right there, a little hesitation, then over Holder, who blocked him right before that. Heck of a move there by Grant.
Tobias Grant was basically shut out from the floor in the first half. He had 1 field goal made early in the first quarter, but has since battled back here in the second half with 4 points in this quarter alone. Grant picks up his dribble, tries to get it on the cut to Geerton. And Geerton has to dump it off now to Simmons-Little, who powers his way into the lane. What a move there by Cooper Simmons-Little.
Just the more athletic player right there was being guarded by Washington. Doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with Little.
Balance going the other way, and we have a foul on Traders Point. It's going to be against Grant, his second. Make that his third.
Love the groans there from the home crowd, like they weren't expecting that. Hasn't been any fouls called in this game.
Traders Point has not led in this contest. They have gotten close. They have gotten down to as low as 1. And going right there, trying to dunk it was Hickenbottom, but has to settle for just a nice little plop in. He now has 6 points this quarter.
Baseline drive, and he kind of floated up there. I don't think we were expecting him to get that close to the rim.
Inside of 5 minutes in the quarter. Grant into the lane, splits the defenders, tries to get the nifty shot up. Instead, he'll draw a foul, and it'll be 2 shots for him.
See here, just a good skip pass against this zone. Simmons' little bad closeout. And easy lay-in there from Hickenbottom.
And so Tobias Grant goes back to a place where he has gotten all too familiar tonight. That is the free throw line. He is 5 of 8.
And he's really kind of exemplified what I figured Coach Busick would tell his team at the halftime break in the locker room. Just be aggressive, attack this defense. And we've seen every time Grant's got the ball in the offensive end, he's trying to get to the rim.
But Busick still struggling from the foul line as he misses both right there. And you can see kind of frustrated with himself as he just stands there at the foul stripe for a few extra seconds. And now Washington will have the ball here as you see James Holder clarifying a few things with the official. Hickenbottom. Up top, Holder along to balance along the baseline, and he's tripped up by Gearton, excuse me. And that'll be his 3rd.
So now Traders Point with 2 players with 3 fouls apiece, and Gearton and Grant. Something to keep your eye on for the rest of this game.
Holder off the inbound, can't quite get it to go, and Gearton gets the rebound.
We saw him get a bucket like that in the first half. That's one he'd love to have back.
Busick in the corner. Tries to find an in lane inside. Instead, tries to draw the foul, and big Latravian Enright certainly down there to use his size to get the rebound. Balance goes coast to coast, kicks it back outside. Burns for a 3, leaves that one short, but Balance is there for the offensive rebound, and he draws the foul from behind there from Simmons Little.
Going back to that last take by Busick, we saw him get a good drive to the rim, but the brick wall and Enright comes up, and Busick only being a sophomore, I think he kind of went up a little bit scared. I think you see him next year or his senior year, he's going to take that and finish high at the rim.
Balance can't convert on the first one. Meanwhile, we'll see Jackson Wilhite check back into the ball game for Traders Point. A 6-foot senior, also a football player. Lots of football players moonlighting as basketball players here for Traders Point. As Balance comes up dry on that trip to the foul line.
Balance with only 3 points so far tonight.
And Tobias Grant loses his footing. Enright comes away with it, and you see Wilhite try to get the jump ball, and the arrow favors Traders Point. So a heads-up play there by Jackson Wilhite to keep the ball on this end of the floor.
Love that. Bring a kid in like Wilhite. He's going to do just the little things right. Be aggressive and then also make those kind of gritty plays. Whoever hits the floor first usually comes up with it there. He was able to tie it up with Enright.
Nice shot from Cooper Simmons Little. Just can't get it to finish. Holder working on Wilhite. And that's too easy there for James Holder. 10 points for him tonight.
That's something I'd like to see more from Holder and even Enright. It's just demand for the ball on that block. They've shown that really no one can keep up with them down there.
Busick finds Wilhite. And now back up top to Justice. Wilhite trying to work on Enright, but Enright using that size advantage to keep it out of the post. Busick goes along the baseline. Tobias Grant trying to find an opening. Nothing doing. Leaves it for Wilhite from the foul stripe, a little too strong, and a nice rebound by Holder. Balance the other way, gets it to go and draws the foul.
Coach Hogg's got to be happy with that, turning defense into offense. I was going to say that last possession might have been one of their better ones defensively because they were able to defend against the dribble penetration and then also recover on some different plays. But right here, just a one-on-one opportunity. Wilhite, not the most athletic player out there, so Balance takes it right at him.
So Wilhite picks up his first as Balance hits the old-fashioned three-point play, and now Washington starting to extend this game out a little bit as they are up 12 points, the largest lead that they've had in this contest.
And I think it's really started on the defensive end. They've gotten better. Not kind of playing defense with their hands has allowed them to kind of move around better and create tougher looks here for Traders Point.
And now you see a full court press from Washington to try and suffocate out any chance at a comeback from Traders Point. 2.5 minutes left to go here in the third. Grant tries to spin it inside. And if there's one thing that Washington has done well tonight is keep Grant out of the middle, but still Grant, being tenacious, draws another one.
Yeah, he really just hasn't let up. He'll take it in there, get to about the elbow, pull it back out, wait for another opportunity. That's all he's been doing in this second half. He's really been the focal point of the offense.
Foul number 3 on James Holder. And Tobias Grant back at the charity stripe again. And he has certainly been hit or miss tonight when he comes to the foul stripe.
And fortunately for him, that's kind of been the case all season long. We mentioned only 67% a scorer like that. You'd love to see him get that percentage up over 75 into the 80 range.
And Grant hits both free throws there. So Coach Sean Busick in his first year here as the head coach of Traders Point, but he certainly has a long history as a head coach in high school basketball. This is his 29th year as a head coach, and he's been the flagman for programs like Argos, North Knox, Belmont, Crown Point, Zionsville, and Covington before coming to Traders Point, as you see a foul in transition here.
Kind of an eclectic mix of schools. I mean, it's kind of weird, I think, at least to me, seeing that he's been all over the state. It kind of hasn't been just one area, say Northwest Indiana or Indianapolis. It's been top to bottom, north to south. You've been there, he's coached.
He took Belmont to a semi-state championship back in 2004, where they eventually lost to Evansville Mater Dei in the 3A state finals. Down along the baseline goes Enright, and he gets a few bounces, and then it drops.
Love to see the spin move there to get out of the double team and find himself at the front of the rim.
Drew Busick tries to go along the baseline. Instead, it ends up as a steal and a nice scooping pass. But again, Hickenbottom can't finish the dunk. And that's kind of plays right there if you're Coach Hogg, where it's just like, just lay it in, man.
Exactly. I know we can't see him right now, but he's definitely shaking his head. And then you pick up the foul 90 feet away from the basket. That's just a terrible combo.
So that's Damon Lee's second foul. But still the Knights have a pretty tall task ahead of them here with the last 90 seconds in the third quarter and then going into the fourth. Just look at this. You just got to lay it in a little. Not enough extension there to get the one-handed slam.
Nope, and Wilhite doing a good job giving him some token pressure there, acting like he was going to jump with him. Might have thrown off his rhythm just a little bit.
Tobias Grant, double teamed. Has Wilhite up top. Busick trying to shake off Burns. He goes around Enright. And there's going to be a foul here. It's going to be against Enright. And Enright probably knows it, but still a nice defensive effort there by Enright. But nevertheless, free throws coming up here for Busick.
Was able to block the shot, but it was on the body contact down low. And this is actually, I think, Busick's first chance at points here in the second half. Hasn't attempted a shot.
And he still doesn't have any points after missing that first one. But now you have Jaquan Bridges checking back into the ball game. He has 3 fouls, one of 3 players that have 3 fouls. Make it 4 players that have 3 fouls for Washington here going into the third quarter. And Busick still can't come away with it, but an offensive rebound by Wilhite. But it's stolen right back by Washington. Hickenbottom fouled from behind by Grant, and he gets the and one. What a play there by Hickenbottom.
That was an impressive finish considering that was a very hard foul, I thought.
And it certainly was. And
like if this was NBA or college, they're going back and looking at that, and they're going to say, hey, did he come down and make contact on his head? Because from our angle, that's what it looked like.
And that's now 4 fouls on Tobias Grant. And this is 1-and-1 opportunity here for Washington as Hickenbottom will go to the foul stripe. And you even saw a little bit of extracurricular activities there between Grant and a couple of Washington players, as the refs are still trying to keep both teams in check here for the time being. So Hickenbottom gets the and one.
Having himself a great third quarter here with 9 points.
Back the other way, Justice is blocked there by, looked like either Hickenbottom or Enright getting a hand on it. Balance, dishes it off to Lee, and he lays it in.
And that's been the biggest difference, I think, here compared to the first half to the second half, is Washington has been able to turn their defense into easy points going the other way.
Underneath, backdoor cut to Cooper Simmons-Little.
Like that Simmons-Little took his time to realize how wide open it was. He's like, I'm not going to blow this. So easy land there. Great find from Justice.
And a late timeout here called by Washington, a 30-second timeout. So another one gone there for Washington. We'll stay up to date with everything IndianaSRN by going to our sports page, and stay up to date with all the sports by going to IndianaSRN.org or Troy at RadioTroy.com. Scores, stats, and much more. So make sure you dive in to all of that. Also, the IHSAA Foundation. Keep up to date with everything going on with the IHSAA by subscribing to our newsletter, The Advocate. Email us at ihsaa.foundation.org.
See that block there. Enright's been close on a couple. I believe that's his second block of the night. And here's the quick lay in the other way. Balance has done a phenomenal job tonight pushing the ball up the floor. We saw he had that great pass to Hickenbottom who missed on the dunk before that, but he's kind of been the guy to get the ball out and go and push it out in front of him.
And it's now a 15-point lead for Washington, the largest lead of the ball game. And they can certainly extend that here with the last 10 seconds. Instead, it's a long 3 from Burns. No dice. Tobias Grant hits Cooper Simmons-Little in stride, and a nice shot at the end of the third quarter for Traders Point. Going to the fourth quarter, coming at you next here on IndianaSRN.
It'll be George Washington basketball to start the fourth quarter.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Fourth quarter now here on IndianaSRN. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling, taking a look at this shot at the end of the third quarter by Cooper Simmons-Little. A nice assist given to him there by Xavier Thomas.
he made that shot look a lot easier than it actually was. Jumped off the wrong foot due to the timing, wanted to get it off, and then put a little English on it as well. And it was really Grant and Simmons Little, the only guys getting it going in the offense in that third quarter. For Traders Point, only scored 12 points in that one, so they're going to have to really pick it up here in this fourth quarter to get back into this game.
Meanwhile, it was Eric Hickenbottom really coming alive in that third quarter for Washington to get them out there. They scored 20 points in that third quarter to really jump out to a big lead here, outscoring Traders Point 20-12 in that quarter.
Yeah, and it was kind of ironic seeing Hickenbottom come out there, didn't get the start in the first half. He really set the tone here for the Continentals in the second half. And you could say the same thing for Grant as well. Didn't start in the first half, and he was able to score the first 6 points for the Knights.
Meanwhile, if there's something a little glaring here for Washington, it's the fact that Armand Burns has only been held to 5 points all night long. He averages 17 points a contest, and he's at the foul stripe here for a 1-and-1. And he earns the first one as well and gets a second one.
He was actually scoreless in that third quarter. His only field goal of the day was a 3-point shot in that second quarter. Pretty crazy.
It has been all free throws since then. He is 4 for 4, though, in that regard. So he now has 7 points. And an errant pass out of bounds for Traders Point. Another turnover back to Washington.
They average about 15 turnovers a game, and they're just edging right up to that mark here as we enter this fourth quarter.
So now if you're Washington, you have a big cushion and time on your side. Meanwhile, Enright going to work on Corey. Dumps it inside to Hickenbottom, and a wide-open floater for him.
And that honestly could have happened 3 seconds faster. That opening was there the whole time if he would have just cut right there. But nonetheless, he found the right spot.
And Geerton turns it over. And another gets fished down inside to Hickenbottom, and you had Holder try to follow it up, and instead it'll go out of play, and they'll give it back to Traders Point. So Eric Hickenbottom has 16 points tonight. His season high was 30 in a big walloping of Providence Cristo Rey. That was an 84-44 win back on December 1st.
And these points have been huge for him because most of them have come in the second half. And when we were entering halftime, I believe it was a 4 or 5 point game. So he really kind of set the tone here, like I've mentioned, for the Continentals in that third quarter.
And now a 5-second violation as Busick couldn't quite get rid of it fast enough, and another turnover. And so Traders Point started the game with turnovers. Well, it seems turnovers are starting to creep back up on them here.
Yep, they've had 2 or 3 here to start this fourth quarter, and I get Coach Busick getting a technical foul. Obviously didn't like that 5-second call. I'm guessing that's what he was referencing. Standing up for his son, though. You got to appreciate that.
And so a technical foul called on Sean Busick. And so this will be foul shots for Washington. And again, they put back the hot hand, Eric Hickenbottom, at the charity stripe. And he misses the first one. Meanwhile, Coach Busick is still pleading his case about the 5-second call called.
I think I heard him say I thought we were just having a conversation. I like that.
Second one goes there for Hickenbottom.
29 years of coaching. How many technicals do you think that guy's racked up?
Oh, he's probably gotten several. So a timeout called by Traders Point here. And it's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with them here on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
54-36, the largest lead of the game for Washington here in this one. And now the Continentals going to try and close things out here against Traders Point. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. And Ben, Traders Point certainly played them close, but Washington has really shown a lot of grit here over the last quarter and a half to extend this thing out.
Yeah, and they really kind of did it to themselves, dug themselves a hole with all those fouls, had 3 starters with 3 fouls heading into the second half. But they kind of maintained the course here and kept relying on that defense to get them easy buckets going the other way.
There's Enright down low, and it'll be coughed up and taken back out by Balance.
And now you can see here Washington's very happy with just holding the ball, as even Hickenbottom could have got a look at the rim there, but picks up a foul.
Foul on number 3, Amari Justice. That's his first.
And so Amari Justice picking up his first. And that's going to be the 10th foul on Traders Point. So that means 2 free throws from here on out for Washington. Hickenbottom, so far tonight, going before that one, he was 2 of 3. Now he's 2 of 4. But we'll have another one coming in as you see Tobias Grant check back into the ball game.
Yeah, Hickenbottom, not the greatest free throw shooter on the team at only 64%.
But he certainly favors back half free throws. He's gone 1 for 2 each time. He's gone to the charity stripe the last 2 times. In the corner, Amari Justice nails a fadeaway jumper.
Saw a couple of those in the first half, too. Just really hasn't had the space to work with against this defense.
He went scoreless that entire third quarter. And Amari Justice, one of the more inconsistent scorers here for Traders Point, only shooting 28% from the field, 50% from the free throw line, and 20% from behind the arc. But he does lead the team in steals, so certainly a good defender when he wants to be for the Knights. Tobias Grant goes right up against Enright and lays it in.
Gave Enright a little stare down right there. Might want to be careful. That might come back to bite him, but we've seen Grant go and hang in there with the Giants, and it's come out to work for in his advantage most of the time.
Well, just goes to show you that he does not lack in confidence. He now has 15 on the night.
He also mentions he's a football player, probably likes the contact too.
Balance up top to Hickenbottom for 3, and Hickenbottom keeps pouring it on. And another full timeout taken on the floor. We'll take one with them. Back in a minute here on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
$18-point lead for Washington here in the waning minutes of the fourth quarter as they look to close things out here against the Knights of Traders Point. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling, taking a look here at this big play from Tobias Grant, showing no fear against Enright.
Yeah, we saw Enright try and slide in there and take the charge, and Grant said, no thank you, I'll take 2 points.
So we're inside of 5 minutes here in this fourth quarter. And we have more technical fouls called.
I told you, Amari Justice he had to be careful. I saw it coming in the first half. He was talking too much.
Couldn't quite hear who the second technical was on. You had one on Traders Point and one on Washington. And so the officials saying that they were just chirping at each other, and Amari Justice trying to plead his case to the officials, but either way. And you just continue to see them talking for now, but needless to say, you had more technical fouls, this time offsetting, so no foul shots, and we continue play. And so it looks like it was Balance and Justice getting up technical fouls right there. Meanwhile, another foul coming up here on Washington. And so you get Cortez Washington.
That last technical foul for Balance gave him his 4th of the night, so one more and he's done.
So Cooper Simmons Little goes back to the foul stripe for the first time since the 4th quarter. He has a quiet 9 points tonight, now make it 10.
And Cooper Simmons Little has kind of just been filling in the gaps here and there. He had that kind of momentum breaking layup to end the 3rd quarter. But other than that, the points have just kind of come when he can get them.
Couldn't quite get that one right there, but we have another whistle. And a foul on Travis Balance.
Actually,
or no, it's Amari Justice.
I think they're saying that it was on 24, I believe. Or
no, it looks like it was against Amari Justice.
Okay.
White 3, so that's going to be his 2nd. Correction is 3rd.
Sorry, I heard the 24 on the PA. I thought didn't know what was going on.
24 is shooting free throws
there
here. You have Cortez Washington back at the line. 2 for 2 so far tonight. Rather, 2 for 3. He missed an and one earlier in the 1st quarter.
The big thing here for Washington, Kurt, is those are his first made free throws of the entire season. He was 0 for 1 heading into this game, so he's starting 2022 off on a good note.
But, of course, it had to end sometime. Busick with a long 3. Well, needless to say, Busick, he is 3 for 3 from behind the arc whenever he shot the ball.
And that's how you can tell he's a great shooter. He even gave it a little bit of a pump fake, and usually for most guys that'll throw off the shot, not for him.
He has now 9 points off of 3 3-pointers. Approaching the halfway mark of this final quarter. And there's Travis Balance going right to the rack. Hickenbottom tries to go behind the back to find somebody. Instead, it finds Holder. He kicks it right back outside. Bridges wants to shoot it, but thinks better of it. Probably a wise decision right there to try and wind some clock.
Yeah, he was wide open, but that's exactly what you want to do is pull that ball out and just eat some of this clock.
Washington has never trailed in this contest. They have come close, but they've been able to hold Traders Point away as much as they can. Underneath to Bridges. He gets the roll. A nicely made play there by Washington.
Yeah, good cut and find, and then Bridges did a good job to use his body to seal off the defender and get the shot up over him.
You also came away with points, and you literally probably knocked off a whole minute from the game.
Yeah, so it pays off for Bridges holding back that three-point shot.
Justice again along the baseline. Seems to be one of his favorite shooting positions. He has hit 2 shots from that spot here this evening.
Before you can blink, Bridges is back the other way with a 2-point lay-in.
So Bridges keeping the hot hand going as well. Busick tries to put it back, blocked out there by Holder.
Holder's 4th block of the night. Doing a good job as the rim protector for the Continentals.
And another whistle. Going to stop the clock here as the officials noting to Washington to try and calm it down here. As you'll see Devin Geerton back at the line. In fact, this is the first time he'll be at the line tonight. He has not scored a point at all today.
You have to give these officials a lot of credit. They've held this game in check. They've had some chippiness, some chirping going on, and they've let guys know, hey, we're not going to tolerate that. And then also with these calls, we've seen it go both ways, so there's really nothing you can complain about here as this one winds down.
So Geerton finally gets on the board with 2 free throws. But once again, Washington going to be content to try and kill as much time as they can here. Balance going back and forth with Washington as well as Burns.
They're looking for that backdoor cut towards the rim on the backside.
Burns right to the basket and just keeps adding on to his total here this evening. He has 23 points according to my count. Geerton hard to the basket. And Geerton keeping his cool right there in a game that's been certainly chippy, as Cortez Washington will pick up another foul. And now Coach Busick is out on the floor to get another explanation from the officials. Geerton has another 2 foul shots coming his way.
I'm not sure why, but Geerton seems to think he was slided in some way. I don't know what he's trying to plead to the referees there. You're at the free throw line. Just go ahead and knock him down.
And he misses the first one. So if things hold true here, the Washington Continentals will pick up their 7th win of the season. Again, this will be their best start as a team since the school reopened in 2004. The last time that GW had it this good of a start was back in their final season before the school closed in the mid-90s. They went 8-0 to start the season back in 1994, the 90 and 95 season. That was also the same year that they went to the Hinkle Regional, where they lost to Ben Davis, who would eventually go on to win the state championship back in the single-class era of the tournament.
Hey, 1995 was a good year. And Kurt, I want to say one of the more impressive things I'd say for Washington in this second half is they didn't have a player foul out. That was something.
That is impressive. that is an impressive stat because, and just to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that you had 3 players for Washington who had 3 fouls at the end of the half. And yet all of them are still eligible to play right now. Burns trying to salvage what can be described as kind of a lackluster performance from him tonight.
And doing a majority of his scoring here in this 4th quarter.
Only 1 field goal the entire game, which was an open 3-pointer in the 2nd quarter. It has been all free throws other than that. Inside of a minute to play now. Meanwhile, if you're Traders Point, you're going to drop to 4-6 on the season, making it a 3-game losing streak, the longest of the season for them, as it's an over and back call here for Traders Point.
Backcourt violation. Gives George Washington the basketball.
Unfortunately for Traders Point, they really kind of just missed someone else to step up. At times it was Grant, and then you sprinkled in Simmons' little injustice here at times, but they just weren't consistent enough to keep up with this Washington offense, who really give them credit for that too. Spread this scoring around for them as well.
And so Traders Point will be going up against Indiana Math and Science here on January 8th, which is also a Greater Indianapolis Conference foe of Washington. As we tick inside of 30 seconds, a steal here by Traders Point. So Tobias Grant likely to finish the night with at least 15 points. That's what he has right now. Going to try and add to it a little bit here, but instead he gets his pocket picked. And now if you're Washington, you get it back across the timeline, and that will do it. So a 20-point victory here for Indianapolis, Washington. They knock off the Knights of Traders Point 69-49. Don't go anywhere. The Connor Insurance postgame show coming up next here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Welcome into the Family Source Insurance postgame show. Give them a call at 327-884-8046. Well, before we go any further, let's take a look at some of the games that we're going to be taking place here on IndianaSRN here in the coming days or so. Of course, coming up on January 7th, you'll have some boys basketball action between Northview and Greencastle. Tip-off for that game is at 7:30. You'll also have some girls basketball action going on concurrently between Greenwood Christian and Heritage Christian. Also at 7:30, Guerin Catholic takes on Chittard in boys basketball action. And then Faith Christian will be taking on Bethesda Christian, a new client of IndianaSRN. That game going off at 7:30 as well. Then on January 8th on Saturday, another full slate of games. Starting off at 1:30, University taking on Covenant Christian in girls basketball action. Then you have Shortridge taking on Greenwood Christian in boys basketball at 4 o'clock. And then at 7:30, a full slate of games as well. You have the radio game of the week between Indiana Math and Science and Traders Point, that going off at 6 o'clock. And then TV games at 7:30 apiece. Heritage Christian taking on Covenant Christian in boys basketball, and Central Christian at Indianapolis Lutheran in boys basketball action. Another quick timeout. When we come back, we will have some stats and our players of the game here on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Traders Point High School. The final score once again here, Indianapolis, Washington knocking off the Knights of Traders Point 69-49. Alongside Ben Wood, I'm Kurt Darling. Ben, before we go any further, let's take a look at some of the post-game stats here for you. Obviously, the big name of the game here was Eric Hickenbottom. He finishes the day with 23 points. That's just shy of his season high of 30 points, which he set just earlier this season. Also a nice outing here for Jaquan Bridges. He has 6 points, 8 points points for Travis Balance for Washington, and then also 9 points for Amon Burns, kind of a quiet night for him tonight. 10 points for James Holder, and also you have 4 points apiece for Cortez Washington and Latravian Enright. Meanwhile, for Traders Point, they were led today by Tobias Grant, who had 15 points in a bench role. He did not start tonight, but needless to say, also a good night here for Cooper Simmons Little. He finishes with 10 points, and also you have 10 points for Amari Justice, 9 points for Drew Busick as well, with 3 3-pointers. He was 3 for 3 in that regard, and then also 2 points for Jaden Corey and 3 points for Devin Geerton for Traders Point. Well, Ben, who would you say is our player of the game here for tonight?
Player of the game, I think I have to go with Eric Pickenbottom, a guy we're used to seeing start, came off the bench a couple minutes in. Really, I think I have to credit him as a difference maker in this one because of the third quarter. He scored 9 points, and I think without him, this game would have been a lot closer because that's kind of when the gap really widened in this one.
And then, of course, our sixth man tonight, believe it or not, we're probably going to go with Latravian Enright for all the presence that he had down low there for Washington.
Yeah, he came in and was a presence in the middle of that zone, was able to facilitate some things on the offense, but really he stood out on the defensive end, just kind of showing himself as a brick wall there. So Enright, good sixth man, and that's another guy I think will get sprinkled in this lineup depending on who they play. So great effort all around, though, from Washington, considering the first 10 minutes or so we saw of this game.
And so overall here tonight, Ben Wood, obviously it was a tough loss here for Traders Point coming out of the break. Even though they didn't have much of a break, they played up to December 30th. They next now have Indiana Math and Science coming up on January 8th. You can catch that game on IndianaSRN radio here later this week. Meanwhile, if you're Washington, a good way to come out of a 2-week layoff basically with a big win, but they have a tough outing now against Ben Davis coming up here on January 8th, a tough team in the Giants.
100%, and I think basing where Washington is at as a whole as this team is going to depend how they play against Ben Davis. If they can stick with him, I think this is a legitimate Washington team that we might see have a chance at winning a sectional title. If they kind of fall out and fluster, maybe we'll see him kind of tail off towards the second half of the season, but I think that's a statement game for them against Ben Davis to see how well they play against them.
Well, Ben Wood, certainly been a pleasure working with you tonight, my friend. It's been, and hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Oh, I'll be around, that's for sure, Kirk. It was a pleasure sitting next to you and enjoyed this game. It was kind of a tale of two halves, so it was an interesting one, and Washington was able to pull it out, and they're off to a great start of their season.
Indeed they are. This broadcast has been copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is strictly prohibited. Well, for all of us here at IndianaSRN, for my color commentator Ben Wood, for Nick Lewis on camera, and of course James Andrews, our on-site engineer, I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You've been watching high school basketball on IndianaSRN. So long, everybody.
Came out like before.